Bro, what is this? The legendary cheater? They have stars on cheater. Legendary cheater. Oh my god. It's literally say the legendary scammer. I scammed 50,000 people per star. Why I keep saying they're pathological liars and they have like split personality, cheaters have. Like one side he wants to be a giga chat in the game because he cares about the game so much, but the other side he's actually just a fucking shameless cheater who cheats to win the game. And whenever he gets caught, he becomes, I don't know which one he chooses, but he suddenly says, it's just a game, why do you care? But before he gets caught, he cares so much. He buys the cheat, works this hard to cheat, and then cheats in the game. He cares so much. Is this video hacking into kernel anti-cheats, how cheaters bypass facet, SEA and Vanguard anti-cheats.
Take a look at this clip.
No, you don't.
It's a women YouTuber too. I was kind of surprised.
Does it look suspicious? What if I told you this person was using cheats? Well, they are, as the person is me, using an aimbot I developed in a couple days and have been using for months without any fear of being banned. No one would have ever questioned a play like this in a game, and if someone was playing well and hitting all their shots, they would just be praised for being cracked and good at the game. In recent times, I felt more and more like I was running into suspicious players that were performing in a way that just didn't feel like the usual Smurfs, but anytime I called out the behavior to my fellow teammates, they brushed it off as a player who was just good. But as someone who used to play a lot of Counter-Strike, a game that is washed in cheating, there were times when I'd run into some players that just felt the same. I had done my fair share of dabbling in Counter-Strike hacks in the past, especially on the old HVH servers. And sometimes you just kind of know something isn't right. The inner engineer in me questioned what it would take to circumvent the Valorant anti-cheat. And if I could do it easily enough, how widespread could cheating be? During this journey, I began to find others who were also cheating.
She claims that she's a cheater.
Meeting these individuals helped me uncover massive private Discord servers and cheat forums.
Oh, you're talking about that girl. I know, Bueno.
In this video, I will explain to you how thousands upon thousands of people
famous cheater
circumvent Valorant's anti-cheat every day, and how they operate in their cheating communities. This video will serve as a basis and lay the foundations for all other videos I post on this channel.
Bro, I would say this character is cringe, but at the same time, I'm gonna pull out this thing so bad. You guys see these things? I thought of that right away whenever I was watching this.
This video will be long, as we will be taking a deep dive into the world of cheating at tactical FPS games, especially how cheaters circumvent invasive anti-cheats like Vanguard and Faceit. Future update videos on the cat and mouse game between anti-cheat devs and cheat developers will reference this deep dive video. There will be video chapters below on each subject we will be tackling today, so stay tuned to the channel as we are just getting started.
The video itself is really good though.
Ever since the release of Valorant, the game's anti-cheat, Vanguard, has been touted as being one of the best multiplayer anti-cheat systems to date. Vanguard is one of the most rigorous and intrusive anti-cheat systems out there, and has been praised to be able to catch even the most sophisticated of cheats. But it is this intrusive nature that lets Vanguard work well. It is able to beat the game of the one who loads first and nip any cheat in the butt, or so we think. Because if there is one thing that is true about multiplayer games, if there is an anti-cheat, cheaters will find a way around that anti-cheat. The extreme nature of Vanguard has given the Valorant community a false sense of security. They believe Vanguard to be almost impenetrable. There is no way that cheaters can last long before Vanguard stops them, right? I installed this rootkit and Chinese spyware.
So why I just remembered about this video is that I think it was IOK talked about like Vanguard or like those are no. There was like multiple people saying Valorant cheat is anti-cheat is impenetrable. It's impossible to penetrate, or like it has like really good anti-cheat. But it seems like this women YouTuber is trying to say it's not that much good. Like, there's a lot of cheaters in it.
On my PC specifically to avoid the cheating issues I have experienced in other games. I left Counter-Strike for this. Unfortunately, the truth is cheating is fairly prevalent in Valorant, just as it has been in every competitive game. So let's begin by going back in time.
She kind of talks about the history of herself. Should we watch it? Just watch it.
Before there was Valorant, there was Counter-Strike. I was but a young girl. The Twin Towers were still standing, and my grandfather had given me...
Bro, when she said Twin Towers are standing, I was like, okay.
A couple of non-running computers, but he told me I could have them if I could figure out how to make one work. I recall learning how to build my first PC with those parts so that I could play video games with my cousins. One afternoon, my aunt took us out to let us buy video games. We wanted something we could all play together, and it was there that I picked up my first copy of Counter-Strike, which I still have to this day. This was during the console era, internet access was limited, and video games were largely considered to be a social activity you did in person. For the best multiplayer experiences, we used to have LAN parties, or we would beg our parents for money to go to the gaming cafe. We would order snacks and balls, and everyone would then have some fun. But even back then, people would find ways to gain an unfair competitive advantage, usually through the means of exploiting glitches and bugs. You'd either laugh at it because it was dumb, or they could be rage-inducing, and you
to be honest, I kind of done this. I'll be honest, I did. We had like a complete different game called Karma Online. You guys might not know the game. It's a pretty famous game in Korea. It's not CS:GO. Karma Online. Bro, this thing is still here. I mean, as an image, I don't know if they still service Karma Online. You can like literally go inside like walls. Anyways, yeah.
Go over to them, punch them in the arm, and scream directly in their face, telling them to stop because what they were doing was annoying, unfair, and they were stupid. Then you'd make your own server and convince your friends to join it instead. But as the LAN era gave way to the online era, cheats or hacks as we called them, would become more prominent.
But I'm gonna also be honest, because I don't really play FPS that much, I didn't really thought of cheating in that. Like, I wasn't that competitive. Whenever I start the game and then I just die right away. So like, I utilized the bugs a lot in this game, but never cheated. I can say that.
Anti-cheat systems were fairly rudimentary, and player bans were pretty short. For example, the earliest VAC implementation for CS only banned players for about 24 hours.
24 hours.
Servers were community-owned and moderated back then. If someone was hacking, you'd just report them to the server admin and go play on another server till the hacker got banned.
Wow.
However, there were even servers where hackers could play against one another on servers designated as hack versus hack, or HVH. But things really started to change when official matchmaking for competitive video games became the standard, and Counter-Strike was no exception to this rule.
Smith. What is this?
In 2012, CS:GO was released with official matchmaking servers. This gave players the ability to join a comp game at the press of a button. You no longer had to join a league or clan and spend weeks planning a match on forums and IRC for matchmaking. But with competitive modes and player ranks came a new wave of cheating, and eventually cheating in CS:GO.
Isn't she the girl who talks about Clara?
Plague the game in almost every lobby, from the casual ones to the very top of the competitive ladder in esports.
The World EXE. She brought in everything.
Cheating in CS:GO was so prominent because of the poor way in which its anti-cheat system, VAC, operated. It primarily focused on detecting cheats through its application signature and banning that particular user account if they used the cheat. But VAC couldn't actively detect if a cheat was being loaded into the process or accessing the game's memory. I remember cheating becoming so bad that I started using an alternative account to play CS. I altered and compiled my own external hack that ran on my Linux machine. And whenever someone began cheating on the opposing team, I would target them with my own cheat. This account lasted hundreds of hours before it was finally banned through the Overwatch manual review system. Valve official servers had become a joke, and all official servers seemed to be an HVH experience. Cheating was so popular that...
I mean, I know you guys are gonna hate my take, and you guys are gonna hate this opinion, but I think we should ban just all good players. All good players, then it will be fine. Then it will be actually a clean server. I'm sorry, good players, but that is the only way.
That there were even HVH tournaments, and if you weren't using Skeet and didn't have a low
only bunch of noobs just running around, it might be actually more fun.
ID, then you were nothing. But that's a story for another. Third-party matchmaking services, with names like Faceit and ESEA creating their own root-level anti-cheats and hosting their own matchmaking services for serious players and the professional scene. However, these third-party anti-cheats were mainly geared towards professional players and the esports scene. During the early years of CSGO, cheating had become so common on official VAC servers that invasive kernel-level third-party anti-cheats had become a necessity to ensure competitive integrity in Counter-Strike esports. Many non-professional players also chose to install these highly specialized and invasive anti-cheats to get away from the cheaters on official matchmaking servers. But these services did require separate subscriptions and client software for the players to take advantage of all they had to offer.
I don't know these kind of histories.
In 2016, however, official matchmaking would improve to a degree with the implementation of verified prime matchmaking. But the question of whether or not the enemy was cheating was always on the mind when one queued on official servers.
I'll read the chat real quick. Faceit was great. Make servers with the government so it's illegal to cheat into the government and you go to jail. That's not a bad idea, but like it's, you know, not gonna happen. But, you know, banning every good players is kind of possible at least. You know, I think like only, what do you guys think? Like majority of the players are not that great. Only like 10%, maybe 5% of the players are good players. We ban all of them and 90% of the players will have, you know, fun in the game. Sacrifice smaller for good. I don't know. I'm just making theory. I'm just copiuming. Faceit was good, to be honest. ESEA was game changing years ago. Yeah, she's gonna talk about ESEA too. Competitive games should come on a bootable thumb drive. Okay, I didn't like. That's not a bad idea. Disk speed is very low. Faceit is very cool. Okay, let's watch the rest.
But hope was on the horizon for the casual player as a new game was about to be born.
Valorant?
Enter Project A.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna, and I'm the executive producer on one of those games you just saw, codenamed Project A.
Oh.
We've talked about our philosophy on developing.
Is this a new game she's trying to promote? Kind of sounds like it, doesn't it?
New games here at Riot, but I figured we could also show you some. We're making new games, and this one's different. So now let's talk about the cheaters.
It's Valorant? Ah.
We know you hate second guessing if you really lost.
Ah, it's Valorant?
Or if someone was running an aimbot or a wall hack. From
They
day
called
one,
it Project
we
A
have put
before.
anti-cheat
Ah,
at the forefront of our development.
Gotcha,
We will do
gotcha.
whatever it takes to preserve the integrity of your matches. We want to be
Cheater
firm in
diet.
our commitment here, because this matters to us, and we know it really matters to you.
Valorant was Riot's take on a Counter-Strike-like game, but with a modern twist on the genre. The game shared Counter-Strike's mechanics, but had waifus. Wait, where have I seen this
It's
before?
waifus?
Oh, right. Moving on. From the very beginning.
I
from the very
mean, these are not waifus, really. Wait, that's the concept of Valorant? I never thought it that way. CSGO, but with waifus.
announcement of the game, Riot
Explains
has
a lot.
one clear goal in mind: to create a highly competitive game that would not be plagued with the
That's not a
cheating problem
waifu.
Counter-Strike had. To accomplish this, they developed the anti-cheat Vanguard. Like FACEIT and ESEA anti-cheats, Vanguard was built as a root-level anti-cheat
she doesn't
in an
know about
attempt to
waifu.
snuff out even the most elaborate of cheats to ensure the integrity of competitive play at the highest level. To achieve this feat, kernel anti-cheats run at the root level, loading into the operating system kernel during boot up. We can understand this concept by simply looking at computer systems' hierarchical protection domains, commonly called protection rings, and where kernel ACs load within these rings. Computer operating systems offer varying degrees of system resource access through the implementation of protection rings, which constitute hierarchical levels of privilege within a computer system's architecture. This hierarchy is typically enforced at the hardware level, often by CPU architectures that incorporate distinct CPU modes in their hardware or microcode. Rings are arranged in a hierarchy
educational.
from most privileged, typically numbered 0, to least privileged, typically designated with the highest ring number. In the majority of operating systems, Ring 0 holds the highest level of privilege, allowing it to directly interface with physical hardware components. Vanguard has drivers that load during the system boot in Ring 0 with the kernel. If that doesn't make sense, just understand this. By starting before any other process, Vanguard has the ability to catch cheats before they even load, and can
What?
keep tabs on all your system processes and how they access your application memory, which in turn allows the anti-cheat to make sure cheats aren't writing or accessing memory space when Valorant is running.
But yeah, this is one of the problems with the kernel level thing, right? If I want to play, like, not streaming, like privately, just wanting to play Valorant, but I play waifu socks game for a second, and then, you know, I turn on Valorant, it will be like, oh, you're playing waifu socks game, brother! They will know everything, right?
Of course, this method of anti-cheat isn't without controversy, as it is basically a rootkit, and if used incorrectly, can monitor everything you do on your computer. At
Exactly.
least Vanguard isn't mining for shitcoins on your PC. I mean, no one has taken advantage of root-level privilege before, right? Especially not a well-known third-party Counter-Strike kernel-level anti-cheat used in the pro leagues. No! Vanguard promised to be different.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Okay, guys, I'll read the chat real quick. What? Shit coins? Yeah, Chinese application like TikTok might actually farm you shit coins from your PC or smartphone, guys. Everybody's like, oh no, Vanguard can see me watching Twitch, it's end of the world. I was on global elite in CSGO and semi-pro in countless other shooters. Not sure how much that skill translates. Cheat catcher masters? Vanguard is like crazy anti-cheat. Vanguard's so good. Are you studying? Kinda. I mean, I'm just looking at it. Like, personally, me making videos about like cheater exposing video won't really affect on this. Like, cause like if they're that deep and they're that good, it's gonna be almost impossible to catch anyways. As just a random dude who's streaming. But even though they're using that, their behavior is gonna be really weird. So I can at least point that out. So like watching this is not gonna actually like help me that much to catch exposed cheaters. But yeah, just watching.
So how do cheaters get around kernel anti-cheats that seemingly know everything? There are many ways people cheat the system to gain a competitive advantage, from actions as innocent as bind jump throws all the way to DMA hardware. So let's start with the most innocent of ways. A bind to get consistent lineups is hardly considered a cheat. Timing your lineup takes skill, but by simply binding your jump and throw keys close together, you can very easily get a consistent jump throw. This might seem innocent, but such binds have been banned in competitive play before in Counter-Strike. But the use of external software can also be used to rebind keys so that you only have to press one key for a jump throw. But these kinds of key remapping can also be used for other actions, like bunny hopping. Most mouse software today ships with functionality that allows for user-defined mouse macros. For example, binding your mouse wheel to jump constantly, creating perfect bunny hop macro without the need to learn the timing yourself. Mouse macros have not been blocked by Riot, nor have they taken any action to ban users to use macros for actions like this. But things can get a little more questionable when you have mouse software that can run scripts that perform mouse movement functions. Basic anti-recoil scripts can be easily programmed for Razer mice. A script can be toggled to pull down the mouse for you, effectively eliminating recoil. These kinds of scripts aren't going to get you far in the ranks, as eventually most players learn how to control recoil on their own. But it is a way some people exploit the system by letting software do the work for them. It should be noted that Riot patched the Logitech Lua scripts, but for some reason the Razer XML scripts still work. But for anyone serious about cheating, there's nothing better than an aimbot, triggerbot, or one of the most powerful cheats of all, the Extra Sensory Perception cheat, aka ESP.
Wow, I never heard the full name until now. Extra sensory perception? It's such a cool name. ESP is that? Okay, I'll read the chat real quick. What are you guys talking about? How about the rotating SBMM mode? I don't know what that is. I'm so confused by cheat makers. Then how the f do you make this bullshit crap? There are demands, I guess. Good tip. In the video, okay. You see the map cheat on Opera GX browser. I will just drop the bug cheat exploit fixes. Maybe. Ban the behavior. Don't even bother looking for the cheats. Okay, just ESP laser. Memory found my G503. What is G503? You can see the map hack on browser. 1359. This thing? Yeah, it's like cheaters use like a browser, not an actual like program or something. I heard about it. All right, let's watch.
Cheats traditionally need access to the game's memory space. The video game's client-side application will store critical game information in the temporary memory, such as player information, their health, and their location. The game obtains enemy player information from the server encrypted in packets. And those packets are then loaded into the memory to be processed by...
I mean, bro, I get it. I get the logic. But, like, do they have to put this much effort to cheat? Like, bro...
the game itself through system API calls. To resolve enemy location, a cheat will need to access and read the game's memory, thus obtaining the enemy location in 3D space, which can then be processed by the cheat program for ESP, aimbot, or triggerbot. There are two ways cheats can access this memory, externally or that read from the game's memory using standard system calls, or inject internal cheats into the game will get caught fairly quickly. So how would a cheat hook into system calls if root-level anti-cheats can detect them?
I have a couple of things I want to mention. The ones I just mentioned, I'm going to talk about it right after reading the chat. But the problem with people keep sending me these kind of videos to me is that Okay, that's cool to know, but so what? Why do I have to know this? Like, they keep saying you should know better about the cheats to like make cheaters expose videos. Why do I have to know this? I don't get it. It doesn't help at all exposing cheaters. Like, just knowing that he's using a cheat by doing something, that's good enough to know. We don't have to know the whole detail. I don't know why so many people are sending me freaking Discord DMs. But you don't know anything about cheat. You shouldn't be exposing cheaters. Like, what? Why? Why do I have to know this? It doesn't help at all. It just gives me more knowledge about like how the cheat works. Okay, I get it, but like like, guys, do you get what I mean? It doesn't help at all. And again, the first thing I was talking about, why would they put so much effort on this? You guys told me like it's money, money, money. But it's like literally saying, I mean, you guys might not agree with it, but it's literally saying, okay, I'm gonna learn how to scam people because it's for money. So I'm gonna start learning how to pickpocket people, how to steal from people. They're gonna study that much for the money. It's something like that. I mean, it's not as severe as that because it's just a game, but if you try to think a little bit more, you know, to understand that it's a bad thing, I think it needs to be exaggerated a little bit. And they know it's wrong. And also the cheaters' mindsets are so effed up. Like, one of the guy I exposed, the cheater guy, it wasn't even exposed. He was just cheating in the stream and then saying that everybody cheats in Tarkov, just buy my cheat or something like that. He literally mentions that somebody in his chat while the cheater was streaming, one of the viewers mentions, I wish there were like a law to get cheaters into the jail. And the cheater streamer literally says, but what would you say that? But what about the modders who mod Skyrim and everything? Should they be hung? That's the cheater's mindset, man. You guys don't think that's like a effed up mindset? They don't have actual morals. They're effed up. They think like game modders should be hung because they should be in jail. The cheater should be in jail. Like, beating eggs to oranges? Unity Research is a cheater. Don't trust this video. She is a cheater, but like I kind of get what's happening at least. Like, I kind of knew like overall story of it. Like, she's telling more detail, and like there were so many people pushing me to like you should know more about cheese, and I'm literally doing that right now. But I don't think it's like that helpful. I understood how it works, but like it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help me at all. Should be in jail. Modding is way different. Yeah, exactly. But the cheater guy says that with like no morals. So they are literally scammers. They're criminals. The cheaters are. They don't understand themselves. They're criminals.
Cheaters can use drivers that load before the kernel loads, abusing the extensible firmware interface mappings, or EFI. At the heart of this cheating method lies the enigmatic EFI mapper. This tool effectively maps custom-made Windows drivers, rendering them invisible to the anti-cheat and even Windows itself, as the drivers masquerade as Windows drivers. By initiating the EFI mapper before Windows...
I stop watching it. Like it's like more like cheater, how to cheat. Hardware spoofing ban. I'm kind of curious on this one though. Let me watch this.
After all, Vanguard bans cheaters based on their physical hardware components, identified by their computer's hardware IDs.
You know why I'm interested in this? Because I heard it was on the comment section of this video I posted, like a false ban history of BSG. Somebody commented here that, who was it? Yeah, this guy. You forgot to mention this. It's hard to find since Gold deleted the video on it. It's the Gold, you guys remember the guy? But there was a mass ban wave of people who all had the same motherboard that somehow had the same ID as the other boards. It's been a long time and I can't remember so BSG banned based on hardware ID? I thought they don't do that. Or maybe they do that, but that banned the tons of people who somehow had the same ID. How would we prove that though? It might be just cheaters getting bad. I don't know. Alright. That's why I'm curious about this.
Well, as it turns out, it's very easy to spoof the hardware IDs.
Yeah, it's
Cheaters
kind of...
will simply spoof their HHIDs once the cheat they are using has been detected, and cheat developers will develop and build a new cheat that will need...
Actually, come to think of it, I rethought about what I said. This is not going to help me at all, catching the cheaters or exposing the cheaters. But at least if I see a dude who has like a file name like this kind of thing, or like a spoofer method thing, if I learn this from now on, I can see a dude having that and then call him out cheating. That's at least possible. Yeah, actually that kind of helps.
Cheaters will simply spoof their HHIDs once the cheat they are using has been detected, and cheat developers will develop and build a new cheat that will need to be detected all over again. Cheaters will then continue to cheat on a new account. Riot has been attempting to curb HHID spoofing by requiring TPM 2.0, which uses a TPM module which forces hardware uniqueness, but cheaters have simply discovered they can boot from a USB drive, spoof their hardware before their OS boots, and then continue to boot from their Windows partition. Third-party Counter-Strike kernel-level anti-cheats, like Faceit, have curbed this issue by banning more component-based hardware IDs, making it more difficult and potentially more expensive for cheaters to create new computer identities through spoofing or replacing hardware components.
That's actually good.
Faceit also has stricter regulation on signups of new accounts, requiring phone verification.
Yeah, we should have this. I don't know. Some people hate it. But there's always like a comment talking about, bro, Tarkov is Russian company. I don't want to give my account ID to them. They're already literally doing that. Like, I mean, not like a freaking whole your residential like info or anything, but
and payment verification.
I think we need this.
Due to these stricter requirements, it's less common to see cheaters use EFI-based cheats on Faceit servers. But EFI-based cheating is one of the more common ways to cheat at Valorant, as Riot's HHID bans are limited to larger components of the PC that are easy to spoof, and Riot does not require phone verification to play on ranked servers.
Really? I thought they did.
Most cheaters are usually obtaining their cheats through a cheat reseller who distributes these cheats from a cheat developer, and they pay monthly subscriptions to keep the cheat development going. Once a cheat like this is detected, an entire wave of cheaters...
Bro, okay, I get it. Cheat developers do that, but like, cheaters, why are they buying that? To just feel boosted? Boasting? Ooh! Such a waste of money and time and life and breath. And air.
Many cheat developers will also exit scam their buyers once the cheat is detected. They will then create a new loader or cheat program and resell the cheat again under a new name. One thing I noticed while browsing through these cheating communities was how closely they were linked to booster services and account resellers. It seems a portion of their paying user base for these kinds of cheats consist of account resellers who use cheats to place accounts in particular ranks. Many of these accounts are then bought by boosters who use the purchased accounts with cheats to then duo with a customer's account to boost it into a higher rank. However, the boosting industry and how it affects ranked play is an entirely different can of worms and out of the scope of this video. If there is interest, I can make a video just on this subject. Now, what if someone wanted to cheat on their main? For players who want to cheat competitively on Faceit, ESEA, or on Valorant to impress others, or even cheat in professional tournaments, how would they do so if their account would simply get banned if the cheat got detected? Well, frankly put, you would need a cheat that is able to access and process application memory deeper than the anti-cheat. But when an anti-cheat is loading at the kernel level, it's harder to go lower than that, right? Well, you'd be wrong, because there is a layer deeper than the deepest software layer, even deeper than the negative ring layers. And that layer
What?
is the physical hardware itself.
Ah, that actually makes sense because like physical hardware itself is only touchable by the guy who's. That's why it comes to DMA. Oh my god. Because like the anti-cheats cannot touch the hardware. It's simple as that. And the cheaters can use the hardware shit, which is DMA, I think. Yeah, I'll read the chat real quick. What are you guys talking about? I want to cheat that just records the whole rate. I could be rich tomorrow if I wanted to fund the DGen machine, but my morals stop me. Oof. It needs to be more than moral, really. Like, they lose their subscriptions when they in turn has them lose their account. Exit scam. They're making 6 figures, I promise you. I mean, yeah, make it 6 figures, but 6 figures with scamming and stealing is crime. They're making 6 figures by doing crime. I bet like a lot of drug dealers and a lot of, you know, thieves make 6 figures. A lot of scammers make 6 figures. It's nothing to be like really like for them to proud about. No. Don't talk about the G2G, bruh. What? Oh, bro, that's the DMA thing, yeah.
If an anti-cheat needs to run on your PC to detect a cheat, what if you ran your cheat?
You're talking about cheaters are cheating for money. Yeah, boosters or RM tiers in Tarkov, maybe. Yeah, they earn money from it, but I don't think they earn that much 6 figure. Okay. You know what? Don't tell us. Like, I don't want to talk about scammers how much they earn. Like, think about it. You work hard your ass off and there's a little scammer, somebody talks about a scammer, hey bro, I heard the scammers like earn 6 figures. And oh that thief right there, that guy earns six figures. Did you know about that? I don't think anyone wants to hear about that, you know? I get it though.
Computer. That's exactly what cheaters started doing to get around third-party root-level anti-cheats in Counter-Strike. To accomplish this, cheaters install a direct memory access controller directly into their PCI slot on their computer.
And from just thought of that, I think actual criminals to come into the cheat developing industry to earn money and not get actually, you know, get caught and get into a jail. That's actually a pretty good crime idea I just thought about. Are mafias doing it? Or, you know, I don't know.
The DMA controller can directly access the memory bus and pull the data directly from your computer's RAM, effectively bypassing the CPU and bypassing the operating system completely. There is no way for the anti-cheat to detect that the memory was accessed and pulled from, as long as the operation only reads from the target computer's memory. Once the memory is
So again, it goes back to the story I talked about. It's impossible to catch cheaters who's using DMA. So we gotta watch the behavior, how he plays. That's the only way. Sadly, the anti-cheat's not gonna work. So if somebody is acting like super sus, like 99% of his race, he can't be determined as a cheater. It's, you know, you guys all know, Toast was one of the biggest example, I think, in my community at least.
pulled by the DMA device, a copy of the memory can be sent to a second computer to process that memory. A program on the second computer can scan that memory copy for the allocated region the game process writes to, and a cheat program will then be able to resolve information such as player location, health.
I mean, AI anti-cheat sounds great, but at the same time, AI cheats are gonna be developed too. So they don't even have to touch the mouse anymore. Cheaters can just like sit there and then AI cheat will do all the job.
Or other game assets. A visual representation of this data can be shown on a second monitor for the cheater to visualize. This gives cheaters a safe way to have radar ESP without fear of the anti-cheat catching them. But DMA cheats aren't limited to just radar ESP. A DMA cheat can also provide wall hacks. To accomplish this, a video overlay box is needed. One feed is sent from the clean PC showing the game's output, and the second feed from the cheat PC, which shows the locations of enemy players in 3D space. The two feeds are then combined and shown on one monitor.
Oh, bro, so much effort to
There is
cheat in
no
the
way
game.
for the clean PC to know the video output.
They put this much effort on cheating, and then whenever they get caught, they say, it's just a game. It's just a game.
is being merged with enemy player locations that were resolved by the dirty PC. Last but not least, DMA cheats can also provide aimbot hacks through the use of a microcontroller. A microcontroller spoofed with mouse hardware IDs is plugged into the clean PC so that it only sees a mouse plugged into the COM port. The real mouse is also plugged into the microcontroller to give real user input. Finally, the dirty PC is plugged into the microcontroller,
So much
providing
effort.
resolved enemy player locations. When the cheater clicks the mouse near an enemy, the microcontroller can correct the mouse movement to hit the enemy using the enemy player location data that is fed to the controller from the cheat PC. To try and combat DMA cheating, root-level anti-cheats try to detect the existence of a DMA device installed on the computer. Since the anti-cheat cannot detect the DMA memory read,
What he just said, Chicky Bricky what just said, classic cheater's answer is just a game. Why do you care? Like, that's why I keep saying they're pathological liars and they have like split personality, cheaters have. Like, one side, he wants to be a Giga Chad in the game because he cares about the game so much. But the other side, he's actually just a fucking shameless cheater, bozo-ass cheater who cheats to win the game. And then whenever he gets caught, he becomes the Giga. I don't know which one he chooses, but he suddenly says, "It's just a game. Why do you care?" But before he gets caught, he cares so much. He buys the cheat, works this hard to cheat, and then cheats in the game. He cares so much, but suddenly he becomes like that. Yeah, sad life. Yeah, it's a sad
the
life.
anti-cheat will instead scan for DMA hardware. Purpose-built DMA devices may be detected and blocked if using default firmware. To avoid detection, cheaters will flash custom firmware to their DMA devices to spoof the device as another
My
component,
brain's hurting.
like a network controller. Riot Games Vanguard has been especially aggressive at combating DMA cheating.
I don't know if this was true, but DMA cheats are now prevented by Vanguard. Why is my DMA not working on Valorant anymore? What the F? Gamer dog. I don't know if this was true or anything. I saw this post before.
Vanguard has been especially aggressive at combating DMA cheating, and there has been a lot of drama between anti-cheat devs and cheat devs around the effectiveness of Vanguard against.
Bro, what is this? The legendary cheater? They have stars on cheater, legendary cheater. Oh my guys. Literally say the legendary scammer. I scammed 50,000 people per star. I earned so much money from scamming. Oh my.
Between anti-cheat devs and cheat devs around the effectiveness of Vanguard against DMA methods, force loading IOMMU, the busmaster bit flip, and so on. But such a topic is out of scope for this video. As of today, as long as a DMA device is properly spoofed with correctly flashed firmware, it will be able to bypass Vanguard. DMA cheating has one major drawback: price. DMA hardware is very expensive, as you need a second PC. The DMA controller by itself typically costs $400 USD. Additional hardware to enable wall hacks and aimbot can set you back another $500 USD. To top it off, monthly subscriptions from a DMA cheat provider can also be expensive. Due to the high cost of entry, running into a cheater using DMA cheats is fairly uncommon, and it can be argued that smurfing is much more disruptive to competitive play in comparison. This is especially true in Valorant, where the developers chose to ignore the smurfing issue altogether. To reduce costs, some DMA cheats loop the resolved game data back to the game PC, and a separate process on that PC uses that data to perform the cheats. The downside to this method is that there is still the possibility for the application running on the game PC to be detected by the anti-cheat, rendering this method more risky. But what if a cheater wanted a method?
Bro, this is one of the reasons why there are so many cheaters have with like PC like lagging so much, because there's so many going on in his PC. Not only the game, cheat too, like with that big process.
That was safe, but also inexpensive. Without a DMA device, there would be no safe way to read from the game's memory space. Instead, one would need a cheat that could operate without needing access to the game's memory. And cheaters found a way to do just that through a method called visual cheats.
Visual cheats? What is this now? This is so sad, Lamel. Guys, looking into, like, you guys watch like those scammer exposed videos where like literally hacker hacks into like scammers' offices and then looks in through the CCTV, something like that, and then it looks so sad. Like it's similar to that. Yeah, so it's a good video. I was
Visual
like,
cheats
I know this.
use the screen
I get this woman YouTuber is a cheater, but like the video is good.
As the basis for the cheats. Aimbots and trigger bots can be easily created through visualization of what is being displayed on the cheater's screen. They cannot be used for other cheats like wall hacks, as they cannot resolve game data from the memory. One of the simplest visual cheat is developed through the use of auto hotkey scripting, or AHK. AHK is a scripting platform used for automation of applications and mouse movements. When Valorant was first released, cheaters discovered they could write simple AHK scripts to move the mouse to where the enemy was showing up on screen by tracking the enemy outline colors. However, Riot eventually patched such AHK mouse movements, and players caught using such functions were banned. While AHK aimbots were easily patched, simple AHK trigger bots continue to be a method cheaters use to this day. Cheaters simply rebind their shoot key to a keyboard button and have the AHK script press that key when the mouse cursor moves over the colored outline of an enemy. This gets around the detected and blocked mouse movement functions, and for some reason, Riot has not found a way to block this method of cheating. Because auto hotkey has many legitimate uses, Riot does not ban users who have it installed. It's widely believed by the cheating community that running AHK while Valorant is running can trigger red flags by Vanguard. This can lead to manual account reviews, which can result in manual bans if the trigger bot was too blatant. But many cheaters still swear by AHK scripts to this day, and it is without a doubt one of the more popular methods of cheating at Valorant. AHK scripts can be very easily distributed and are easy to use. Their widespread proliferation means anyone can find and use one, often without having to pay a dime.
Interesting.
Well, that might be flanking.
I know auto hotkey existence, but I didn't know it can be used for a cheat like that.
The concept of developing a cheat that uses the colored outline as a means of identifying an enemy player has lived on with pixel bots. To avoid using the auto hotkey software, pixel bot cheats are instead developed as standalone programs. These cheats capture the screen input, identify the colored outline of the enemy in the captured frames, and automatically correct the mouse to the enemy player. However, simple pixel bot cheats can still be detected if the cheat calls mouse movement functions.
What Bad BBN is saying is actually understandable. There are so many disabled gamers that need to use the AHK to bind things and macro things because maybe they play with their legs, or I mean that is possible, but you know, I don't think like 90% of the people who's using the AHK won't be those guys though, to be honest. Just saying. That's understandable though, what you're saying.
There is one simple and cheap solution to this, and that is to process pixel data and move the mouse using a spoofed microcontroller.
What the hell? What is this now? Guys,
When I was first attempting
stop.
to find a solution to bypass Vanguard, my first development method involved capturing a small section of my screen around the crosshair and streaming that data to a Raspberry Pi, which is a cheap, single-board computer. On the Pi, I would
Okay.
process the small captured pixel data, find the colored enemy outlines, and send the pixel locations to a spoofed microcontroller.
Okay.
This microcontroller was also plugged into my main PC and would correct my mouse movements. That was all the hardware I needed for a safe, undetectable aim.
That looks easy as hell, and she's saying it's undetectable. No way, man. Why is she spreading this info?
Bought a $40 Pi and a $40 microcontroller. In order to find other cheaters, I began playing in and subsequently dominating in deathmatch servers, adding anyone in those servers who I suspected of cheating. After queuing and playing a couple games
Maybe
with these
SSH.
suspected cheaters, I narrowed out the ones I was certain were actually cheating and revealed to them that I was using a cheat. Cheating communities have a sense of camaraderie, and when they find out another person is also a cheater, they are typically very willing to open up about being a cheater as well.
한국 사람이
After
안녕하세요,
I joined
개인
their
씨.
cheating Discord servers, I found that many cheaters were using either AHK trigger bots or they were using single-board Arduino microcontrollers. The Arduino cheat
I use this to like study shit. They're
especially
using it for
interesting
cheat.
as they were much like the aimbot I created, but
Oh,
simplified.
bro.
The Arduino aimbots were by far the most popular.
아이고 그래요.
These functioned
감사합니다.
by having a
개인 씨
screen
봐주셔서.
capture program send captured screen data over a USB COM port to an Arduino. While not as safe as the cheat I developed, these cheats were much more responsive as they sent and retrieved data over a singular USB COM port, and cheaters have been using them for years without any fear of being banned. These controllers are also cheap, with brand name Arduinos selling for just over $20. However,
I mean, whoa, what the hell? What is this? I get it. I get this. I mean, obviously, it's $10 controller boy's gonna win because like multi-million-dollar cannot actually touch your PC. You know, like this is actual hardware level. But like it's kind of like cringe that they like compare it like this, not thinking about the background or the context.
selling for just over $20. However, off-brand boards from China can be
I want
purchased
that.
for a fraction of the price and can even be found with waifus printed on the boards.
Bro.
The main safety concern many of these cheaters had was that Vanguard could possibly detect two mice plugged in and determine one mouse was correcting aim. To solve this problem, many cheaters solder USB host shields to their Arduino microcontrollers so that their PC only reads one mouse input. There is some concern that anti-cheats could detect screen data being transmitted over a COM port.
Okay.
Streaming over Socket is considered to be much more safe, as Socket is the same way commercial streaming software exports captured screen data. In recent times, network microcontrollers like the Pi Pico have emerged with built-in Wi-Fi chips. These controllers have become increasingly popular as they allow cheaters to stream their screen data to the microcontroller, which will then correct the mouse movement. These cheat methods are not limited to just Valorant. Many cheat providers now provide what they call AI identification cheats. These cheats detect enemy players through the use of shape identification. Microcontrollers have long been used by players to cheat at Counter-Strike on Faceit servers, with early rudimentary cheats designed to be toggled manually by the cheater while holding an angle as a trigger bot activates when any movement comes across the screen. But with recent developments of AI shape detection cheats, microcontroller-based aimbots are becoming much more common and have replaced these old basic trigger bots on Faceit servers. Despite all of these workarounds for root-level anti-cheats, players rarely complain about cheating on servers that utilize such anti-cheats. This may in part be due to the fact that players do not encounter blatant wall hackers, spin botters, or recoilless aimbots that snap to their heads through memory writes. This gives players the perception that they are not playing against cheaters when many times they are, and instead they write the cheater off as a smurf. However, it can also be said that if an anti-cheat is effective enough to bring most cheaters down to the same level as a smurf, perhaps such an anti-cheat is good enough for casual ranked play. While such anti-cheats still have their flaws and could definitely be improved through better pixel bot detection or spoofed controller detection, at least the game experience isn't riddled with blatant rage hackers we experience on official servers of other games. Perhaps one day,
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that moving! Yeah.
be fixed. And remember, only
Yeah.
pros
Anyways, yeah. Let's watch
cheat
the
on
ending.
alts.
What she says.
If you're going to cheat, you better do it on your main with thousands of dollars worth of skins. I love you all. Rem out.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I want to mention something real quick. I don't know. Like I guess some cheaters could get offended by me saying this, but now after watching this, some Tarkov cheaters, I mean, not the ones I exposed. Those ones are pretty blatant compared to these kind of ones, but there are ones that keeps getting reported to me, which are like really, really like sophisticated or deep inside level, so we cannot see. And then, those kind of cheat sellers are being reported to me sometimes, but their cheat sucks then compared to these ones. Like I can at least say that. I'm saying this because I know the cheat developer sellers hate being called out their cheat sucks, because they always go for like to another cheat developer and say like, yo bro, your cheat sucks, my cheat better. Always like that. It's their ego bullshit, and their cheat sucks compared to these ones, the ones I just saw. Oh well, yeah, that was the ending of it. Wow. Guys, if you guys like these kind of contents, please leave a like. And also, if you guys want the video update as quick as possible, please put on that notification button on. If you want to check me out on live stream, check out YouTube and Kickstream. If you want to check out other videos, check out the video list below. And I'll see you in the next video.